Welcome to I'm your host, Sheree. Drew.
And I am your co-host, Drew Comments, back in the world once again for another episode.
Welcome back, guys. Today we are talking about making that transition from dating into a commitment or relationship with two MVPs who are saving the day today. Welcome to the show for the first time, guys.
Hey, how you
Thank
doing?
you.
Glad to be
Hey.
here.
We'll start ladies first. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, everybody. I'm Bianca Lynn. I am 35. I am from Elizabeth, New Jersey, but I currently live in Los Angeles, California.
And my name is Amil Barnes. I'm from the Washington, D.C. area, and I'm 37, Scorpio.
Come on.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. And how we do it every week, we pull questions from the dating and relationship party game Secrets of the Opposite Sex, which you can download on the Apple App Store. And we're going to get the conversation started with the very first question, which is, how do you know when it's time to move from casually dating to being exclusive?
Don't get on your nerves. That's that's when you know. Casually.
How do you know?
You ever prefer your free time to actually casually dating? That's when you know you need to keep it casual. But if you prefer to be in that person's company more than you prefer to play, I'm gonna bring it up again. PlayStation. If
Oh.
Madden is now taking a back seat to your thoughts about this person, about this woman, like, hey, that's how we look at it.
Yeah.
That's not how I look at it. For me, I've been single for a while, so I've had some time to reflect on what I need to see before I actually entertain being with someone exclusively. And for me, it's emotional maturity, intentional effort, transparency, consistency. That's how I know, like, oh, okay, we're showing up in all these ways. He trying to be my man for real.
Okay. My man.
Yes.
I think with me, because I'm at a point in my life where I'm kind of like married to my work a little bit right now. So I think when I have the moment when I actually miss somebody, or I don't mind stopping work or not getting to the bag, you know what I'm saying? And I'd rather just chill and, relax up under her, then I think that's when I know I'm ready. But other than that, if I'm like, oh, I got something to do, I got, things to do, or my mind just isn't there, then I'm still not yet ready for it.
It's a big deal. No, for real. People underestimate that with men because y'all think we just these do guys have feelings and all of this. We got feelings. Like, remember when Drew Hill, right? When Cisco said it, these lyrics will just touch your heart. He said, think about you all the time, morning, noon, and supper time. Tear you up in little pieces, swallow you like Reese's Pieces. Come on, girl, I need. When a man feels like that, and then remember that following note? Yeah, I know. If you get a man switching octaves like that, this is how, you know what I'm saying? Like, we for real. And there's women that we meet that cause us to go through that motion. I think if you get to that point where you really be thinking about somebody all the time, hey, it's like that. Good luck in LA. I was out there for 8 years. It was it's a lot of options, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what part you in.
Black men don't like black women in LA.
Oh,
So.
let's get
Yep.
So there's some truth. So yeah, there's some truth to that. I found it out when I moved out there in 2015, and then I was like, well, it means more pickings for me because I'm from HBCU. All I know is black women. So hey, so for me, dating was easy. Like, it's a pick of the litter. Like, okay, girl, and it's simple. But yeah, there's a little bit of colorism and featureism out there that folk got to deal with. So yeah.
See, I'm in DC, and between Prince George's County and Montgomery County, Chocolate City, we got some of the most beautiful women here. I love me a black woman. Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's a plethora of beautiful black women here in the DC area. It's a plethora.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, man. I heard the other day it was a 35 and up party here. And let's say roughly 400 people there. They said 350 were women.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Wait, so I have a question like on the back end of that, Bianca. So if you're saying like black men, you're not getting approached, or if that's the case in LA, does that change how you're dating or who you choose to date if the black men that are available aren't seeking out other black women?
Yeah, I don't really have like real dating experience in LA, to be honest. Like anytime I go out on dates in LA is because someone that knows me from the East Coast or a different, like if I travel and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming to LA. I want to take you out." That's pretty much the only time that I go out. Um it just kind of like is what it is. Being from New Jersey and North Jersey, there's a lot of like multicultural dating, right? So when I came here, if you want to date outside your race, that's cool. But it just seems so and like exaggerated, or like, oh, because white girls or Hispanic women, Mexican women will date you, they just go for that. Like they don't even want to talk to anybody else. So it's been that. I would prefer to date a black man because like and the work that I do is very much white male dominated. So I want to come home to someone that could really understand what I'm talking about. And there are some really nice white guys that I'm sure could relate. I think about Serena Williams' husband. He seems like a really nice white guy and he seems really down and like, but like I'm not Serena. I don't want that. There is this one Mexican guy I have a crush on at the gym, but he seems scared. Like a lot of guys are scared too. And I've kind of gotten past that because I like for men to approach me, but here they don't. So if I see you staring, I'll wink at you. I'll tell you
Yeah.
to come over to me and say hi. And if they come over, I'm like, yeah, I saw you was looking at me. Why didn't you say hi? And then just kind of see how they take it from there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
if you telling them to come over, that's a little bit different though.
It's like, why are you
that
staring at
that
me then?
yeah,
It's almost
that's inviting.
it like because Emil, like it's not like in DC, because in DC nobody has any problem
It's just
approaching
it's
anybody.
yeah.
But up here, they will look at you, eye you down. So it's crazy to hear that they're doing the same thing in LA. But in New York, they will look at you all night long, stare you down, and it's just like, what you looking at? Do you want you want something? You want to buy me a drink? You want to talk? Like they do not approach up here, and it is strange times. I don't understand.
You said you've had a rough time up there, right?
Very. Oh my God. Ooh. Uh, uh, uh. Don't take me down that rabbit hole, Lord. Rest. I need to drink some wine now.
I mean, in LA, from what I hear, women say that the men want you to chase them out there in LA. Like I ain't gonna hold you. Like I don't know. Like my dating experience in LA was just so different. Like I mean, well then again, I'm from the East
Man,
Coast.
you just said you have a whole bunch of options. Of course, it's gonna be wonderful for you.
Right, but I'm also a shot shooter. You do what I'm saying? Like don't be wrong. There's some women out in LA, like they see you at the park. Let's say you go to like the Do Over or like a Le Jardin in Hollywood or whatever, or I'm trying to think. Everyday People, something like that. You be in there, have a good time, whatever, and like women see and they give you the eye. I'm coming to shoot. You do what I'm saying? Like you look at me long enough. Then again, out, me, I'm in there half naked, tank top, muscles out. You know how that's going. So like, and the women already got alcohol in them, so they get real bold. So they just come up to you and be like, "Ooh, how you doing? Like, I think you need to just take my number." This girl gave me her number before she gave me her name. I'd never forget that stuff like this. But like, it would be crazy. I'm like, what is going on? So one time, this girl pulled me aside. We was at Le Jardin, never forget it. Pulled me aside because like there's an outside part, and then there's the inside part. You can go sit down. We go in there, sit down, or whatever, and we talking. Like she pulled me in there, and then she's like, "Why aren't you touching me?" I'm like,
Oh, you
what's
can't do
going
that
on?
here in DC.
What's going on? What you mean?" So I was like, hey, gave her a little
Not
shoulder bump. You know, she was cute, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. I got her number. I never called her. I ain't gonna hold you.
oh
Yeah.
boy. Oh,
Anyway,
what else is new, Drew? You ain't calling nobody. This is
how the
stressful.
lyrics go? Girl,
Mm.
give me their number, but I never call.
Right. All right. So next question is, what conversations must happen before becoming official? Like what y'all need to talk about before you getting that label?
I got a question. All right. I really want to know this question to this specifically because of what conversations. As part of that, let me see your bank statement.
What?
No.
You don't even you don't even know their spending habits. You don't need to know. You don't need to know what their spending habits looking like because
Maybe if we're getting married, but if
you can knock this out early though.
No, I don't need to know that. I need to know, do you believe in vaccines? I need to know what's your political affiliations. I need to know, what do you think about therapy? Maybe you don't need it, but there's some people who are like really against it. Maybe I need it. I need you to be supportive, but your bank statement, no, because you could come up on a amazing job and your whole life changed. Money is energy, so that could just change.
Yeah.
That's big.
Okay. Okay.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's a conversation that happens once you're like in the relationship, but also before you even get to a relationship, you're spending enough time with that person to see what their spending habits are, right? What their lifestyle is, if they're frivolous with money, or if they're responsible, or you seeing late bills pile up, or you can kind of get a sense of that before you put a title on it, right? Like, I don't know if I need to see your bank statement. That's a little interesting.
Yeah, don't ask to see my bank statement.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean,
that's actually a red flag a little bit for me.
it does feel intrusive.
Yeah, like
intrusive. I guess that would kind of come in maybe where it might be okay, and maybe looking at credit scores might be okay, is if you're trying to blend your lives in the sense of like living together, and you're going to have like a shared account or shared responsibilities, maybe in that sense, because you need to make sure you're with someone who is responsible. First of all, Terrell said bank statements is wild.
And listen, y'all see these tariffs? I won't know. I'm blaming everything on tariffs. I don't care.
Oh my god.
Bro, I know I was late. Tariffs.
Oh my god.
I feel like bank statements is a little bit more wilder than you asking me for my credit score. Like, asking for a bank statement is like asking me for my social security number a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you if I show you one bank account and then later on you find out that I had 5 more bank accounts, that might be an issue for you, because I wasn't truthful or honest from the very beginning. I might see, my thing is, when I start dating, right, I'm a love bomber. I'm terrible at it, right? So, like, I like to go out, I like to eat, but I just like to spend. I like to have a good time. I don't like putting numbers on nothing. It's all about the experience for me. But I still don't want you to see, my bank account and seeing what else I spend money on, because you might start questioning shit and be like, damn, what's this right here? What's this right here, man? That's none of your business right now. And then, are we really serious? Like, when you say official, like, is official really like day one? I got to show you my bank statement. Like, because day one is technically just saying, all right, we just dating exclusively. You really not still really official with that person. It's really still orientation. Like you going to school. You can only go to one school at a time, right? So I can only date one person at a time. So I feel like even that official title is still like orientation a little bit.
That makes sense. I like what Bianca said too about values, right? Like, you definitely want to make sure that you got shared values. I mean, now obviously you tackling all this during the dating phase and all of that, but there still needs to be some of those conversations about. Here's another one I don't think about. What about conversations around like how y'all gonna handle the holidays, right? Like, okay, Thanksgiving, Christmas, who mama house we going to? Like, how that working? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, if I'm inviting Shorty to my parents' house for Thanksgiving, that means she ain't gonna be at her family. You know what I'm saying? For that, how we gonna work that out? So I think that's a conversation needs to be had. I think even during the dating phase, to Bianca's point, like you mentioned something earlier, like this pandemic kind of like changed up my questions and stuff about what I ask people. I'm like, yo, so what you know about vaccines? Like, I do want to ask that question. Like, seriously, do you know the difference between a B cell and a T cell? That's one, like, things like that. I will really go in there. Okay, like, and because you want to make sure that you with somebody who, at least for me, you just want to make sure you're on the same wavelength. I'm like, okay, because some people have conspiracy theories, and I think conspiracy theorists should go and date other conspiracy theorists and make little conspiracy theorist babies. And then you got other people who did pretty well in biology and microbiology and can understand that, okay, vaccines are essential and this is actually what helps. You know what I'm saying? So, like, things like that. Like, so you throw words at them like that. So I started like really questioning, like, being on apps like Clubhouse and just realizing that a lot of people, especially Black folk, got some beliefs that I didn't even know Black people had. Like, my whole life, like, I'm like, we think. And I went to a whole HBC. I went to A&T, bro, and I still ain't know Black people thought like these must be the new versions or whatever. Like I'm like, you're like, yeah, yo, it's lizard people running the world. I'm like, niggas,
Oh.
we us? Like
They
how
still
white
talking
folks say
about the
that?
world flat.
I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
black people saying the world flat is crazy, bro. I'm like, do you know our ancestors like centuries ago figured this out was right? Like, how are we getting here? Do you know black women are the reason we even got to the moon? Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, what is going on? Like,
Right and backwards, right?
but yeah, my bad, I didn't get off that. But yeah, but it's just it's crazy stuff. You want to make sure you align with like, conspiracies, goes with conspiracies, expertise, go expertise, and that's how that works. But yeah, my bad, I'm done talking.
Okay. Is there a point where you feel like it's necessary to disclose those things that feel too personal at that stage, like bank statements, credit scores, or maybe you got dings, or maybe you have things that might affect you being able to or not being able to acquire things in the future? At what point in the relationship do you feel like you should have that conversation with that person?
I mean, when we doing a big purchase or something like that, right? Like, I mean, but I got to be serious with you, you know, and we got to see bank statements. I ain't gonna hold you. We might got to be 2-3 years down the line, maybe even longer than that. That ain't nothing that happened overnight. I mean, if I'm gonna show you my bank statement, you giving that person a key to your apartment? You know what I'm saying? Like, how soon do you do that?
We personal, if I'm showing you my bank statements, we in there. Like we like
yeah. So I don't know, but you're gonna be upset if you see me. Then I like to go and eat out by myself too, right? Contrary to how women think, they probably think black men don't like to go out and eat by ourselves. I like to go and eat by myself, sit by myself, enjoy dinner to myself. If you see me going to, some nice 5-star restaurant and you're like, well, who was you with? I wasn't with nobody. Right. It's just a whole nother conversation. Then once you start finding out I'm just spending cash, I don't know. I just like to keep the finances kind of out of that early on a little bit.
I think in terms of other things that matter to me outside of the bank stuff, because I stand by, we don't have to talk about that stuff until we're like getting married or buying a home. But I think I probably would introduce some of the tougher questions more so like month 4. I think with each month that passes, there could be a new topic that I kind of want to test the waters in. But like 3 months blows by. So I feel like, oh, okay, and now it's April and we're still kicking it. Now let's talk about some of these things and kind of go from there. And I think because I've rushed into relationships before, just being like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, like the chemistry, the vibes. And then like we didn't last long because like chemistry keeps me interested, but consistency keeps me committed. And then like I could see like, oh, the love bombing was kind of like wearing off and he really wasn't like matching, or maybe his language was matching my language, but his actions after the 4th or 5th month just kind of. So I feel like I wouldn't really want to be in something committed until like 6 months. So around that 4-month mark is where I would really try to ask some of those deeper questions and then kind of get a sense. But I'm pretty open. I know that people change and like we evolve and we could grow. So I wouldn't necessarily hold it too tight against them. But there are some things where it's like, nah, you got to get out of here. You talking too crazy for me.
So Bianca, how soon you telling them how much you make a year?
Maybe after a year of dating, if he asked me, because then by then you'll see I'm an independent person. I think also too, like I said, living in LA, I've been single for a while. So I don't stop myself from having experiences just because there's not someone else there. My birthday is around Thanksgiving. And so I've grown up with multiple birthdays where nobody can travel with me because they got to be with their family, or we can't go out to eat here because we got Thanksgiving leftovers. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, I want to spend my birthday. So I'm going to go and do something. It's my birthday, it's my day. So it kind of taught me to do those things for myself. So that's not going to stop if you're my man. I'm still going to go on a trip by myself because that's important for me to be the best person for you. And so I think after he sees what it is that I'm doing for myself, and then if he wants to ask me, then okay. But yeah, if it's a year, then at that point we should be committed, and he should have a good sense of who I am and how I like to treat myself.
Actually, Emil, I'm gonna tell you straight up. In LA, you can tell how much the woman makes. You find out where she live. When you see where she live, like, oh, you stay here. This is nice. Well, 24-hour concierge. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Is this key fob access? Look, do you see? Yeah, okay. You doing all right. Or if you know what I'm saying, she gotta put that actual key, like a physical key into. You're like, oh, okay, a little
And that's how
different.
you could tell, right?
You can tell. Look, bro. You can tell about me too, man. I used to live over there. Look, right there in Pico Union, corner of Hoover and like Olympic, like, and like, yeah, and yo, you go from there and then move downtown LA. I'm at the Third and Grand. You can tell I came up in the world. You can tell once you start going places and there's like a fountain in the lobby. But
It's
I know
true.
what you do.
That's true.
All right. So next question, guys. Is there a right amount of time to date before entering a relationship?
Y'all gonna be real. Y'all gonna be politically correct because
Y'all
politically
rush
correct
it.
is like do whatever feels right to you. But we gonna get real. What y'all want to do?
Who going first?
Who rushing things? Because I'm a rush.
Ladies first, Bianca.
I still think like 6 months is when I would probably be like, okay, what are we doing here? Do you feel like we should be moving forward to the next steps? That I think that's when I would at least ask the question myself, if I don't see the like the actions leading towards that, because the actions are the proof. So if I could see before that you're not really on the same page, or the thing about me, I date a lot of ambitious men and I date a lot of like workaholics. And I can understand that your work comes first. I have a demanding job. I'm not always around. But to like what you guys were saying in the very beginning, if I'm seeing that work is a little bit too much, that may be the reason why we can't be together. And I'll just be like, okay, like it's been 6 months and work is still number one. I get it, build, but like I want attention too.
Love that. Fellas?
You going first, Drew, or me?
Hey, brother, you got it. I'm gonna go ahead.
All right, so
you
I think Tasha knows. She knows this story. So, all right, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at currently right now, but then I'm gonna tell you why I'm this way, right? So currently right now in my dating life, I need as much time as possible, like because I have had instances where I might have moved a little too fast, right, and rushed things. Because I'm a lover boy. I keep it honest with you. Like I love. I like doing all the lovey-dovey shit. I like going out, eating, shopping, doing all that, right? But I think lately I've had to stop that because like I am at a point right now where I'm married to my work, but I'm going to tell you why I'm a lover boy, right? So the day my grandparents met was the day they got married. Right?
Oh, wow.
I didn't tell you that, Tasha?
No.
Yeah, the day my grandparents met was the day they got married. Wow. And they've been together going on 70 years now.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
How many? I got a lot of aunts and uncles. What? 6, 7. So I kind of look at like it could work. It could be my lucky break. I might meet somebody, you know what I'm saying, at Costco, and tomorrow we get married. You never know, right? So, but I honestly just like having a good time. And then the thing with my grandparents is what kept their relationship together was not the norm. Like they've slept in different rooms probably the last 50, 60 years, right? Because they kind of understood at night, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather liked his bed. He liked to snore. He liked his own space. And my grandmother liked having her own space too. But it worked. And that's really the only long marriage relationship that I know. Like, and then other relationships that I know of people who have put in time, you know, they've broken up, nasty divorces and all this type of stuff. So I think currently right now, I'm like, gotta just figure out things on my own. You know what I'm saying? I would love to meet somebody and, you know, sparks fly, but I think now I need a little bit more time, especially when you have kids involved and you're trying to, you know, do the whole co-parenting situation. And I'm also Muslim. So it's a little bit different, for me and dating somebody that kind of understands Islam and is open to understanding, what I practice and everything. Because a lot of people, aren't. So that's my answer right there.
No, it's real. I'm gonna tell you right now, sleeping in separate rooms is probably why they still together. Like it
That
make
that's
you,
why
you
they
know,
yeah.
because they don't give you the opportunity to get on your nerves. Like, you know what,
they
I like.
yep, they give each other the chance to miss each other when they wake up. Right. So if somebody is, like, I can honestly say, even when I was with my child's mother, like she probably used to get irritated when I would wake up early and go downstairs and do the work or go to work. Right. But I think it's a little bit different with my grandparents because one person get up, go and make some food, and the other person, it's kind of, because everybody ain't a morning person. Right. And a lot of people are irritated first thing in the morning. But if that works for them, like sleeping in different rooms for 50, 60 plus years, hey, like they still together to this day.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Like I've learned that even like there's some couples, man. Look, they live in separate houses sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? And guess what? It works. Come and miss each other. It's still hot. The fire is still burning. You see them because you miss them. You say, "Come here, guys." Like,
and that might be working.
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what? For real, I do think there is a certain time. I think you can't. I mean, your grandparents' story is incredible, but I also want to say that I believe that might be the exception. You do what I'm saying? I think that might just been, God stepped in and said, "Yo, yeah," but like, and on some, I think on the norm, man, you got to spend some time. I'm inclined to think that if I can get in a relationship or if I can date someone for longer than 3 months, that I might be on to something. Because the 3 month mark is usually when my stuff fall apart. You know what I'm saying? Tasha know about one of my situations. Stop. But um, not so like I don't know what it is. Like just be okay. First month is great. Miss you, talking to you. Blah blah blah. Second month, yeah. And be a little a little distant. And the third month is very HR sounding. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't know. They're like, why are you speaking to me like you got to call me into the office or something? But you know what I'm saying? So I do think that you do need a few months to get that sorted. I do think though, once you get of a certain age and you've had a number of dating experiences, you should know what questions to ask people in order to vet them properly. And I think vetting is a learned skill. I don't expect a 22-year-old to understand vetting fully. Like, let's be real, like 23, but you 34, 35, you know what I'm saying? 40. Like, I feel like your vetting practices should be a little bit more advanced. Okay. How do you handle this? Not just asking the questions. That's a big part of it. But even putting yourselves in situations and scenarios where you can actually evaluate somebody's actions and what their character is like and all that. That's why I like adventure dates, like competitive dates. I want to see how you do under pressure. So, like, if I invite a woman out for laser tag, it's not because I just want to be different, but I just want to see like how do you respond in adversity when I'm firing you up a bunch of laser beams like and like do you shoot back or do you just crawl up in the fetal position? Because if not, if you crawl up, you know what I'm saying, you ain't fight back. See, you crumble under pressure. I don't need that in my life. You need to go John Wick. You know what I'm saying? Shoot back. So I'm just kidding. But no, for real. Like, but it is a good way to kind of to get people's like who their real personality is. For me, I found in certain competitive dates, Connect Four, mini golf, things like that, and you kind of see who they are and all that potential stuff gets revealed when they're winning or losing in a particular manner. And that's just kind of how I look at it. But yeah, I think there is it's got to be you got to be at least three. I'm gonna say at least 3 months, just off my personal opinion and experiences. But I'm done.
I think this next question kind of ties into what I think is a big what's necessary in what takes time before you put a title on something. How important is it to meet each other's friends and family before becoming official? Because they're gonna tell you all the tea. You're gonna see all the things, and if they don't want to introduce you, that's interesting too. Because what's the reason? So what y'all thinking about that?
I'm gonna say this. Let me lead off with this one. Friends, I think should happen sooner. I think just those of us, we of this age, I think, um, you know somebody's serious about you, or I can't say no, but it is indicative of seriousness Um, that's a wonderful phrase. If somebody brings you around their friends and introducing you to folk, because like what that's saying, they want to bring you into their world. Like I'm so proud of you. I want you to be a part of this too. And that's one of the reasons I know for me personally, it's one of the ways I show love. Family, I think can be, you know, you don't necessarily have. Well, is it important? Not necessarily. I don't think it's important for the family to meet before you become official. After you get official, you should definitely be meeting somebody from. But like, um, I don't know if it's that as important. I think we spend more time. I think at this age we spend more time with our friends than we do with our family. So the folks that you are more likely to be in proximity with are the people that they should be bringing you around, or folks you should be bringing her, pulling this woman or this significant other in with you. But I think with family, you might already be official by the time you bring them on for Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? And if you're the type of person who really is maybe private, or you kind of value those kind of family gatherings, you might not even want to bring somebody by if they're not official already. You know what I'm saying? So I think family might be on a different tier. I think it's not as important as it is friends. Friends, y'all ought to, at Joey's or downtown LA or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that should have. I miss LA so much, girl. I enjoy it. Don't leave. Like for real. The East Coast whack. I
I
don't know
can
what I was
tell.
thinking.
I can tell.
I don't know what I was thinking. But no, my point is like, yeah, I think friends sooner, and more important than family before y'all become official.
I have to agree that I think meeting friends first, I think is a little bit more ideal. You get a chance to kind of see like what is their community like? Are people like-minded? What's the influence? Even sometimes I'm not okay, I'm not trying to say this in a negative way, but like I know where my path is and where I'm like trying to evolve to, or where just not even career, but just as Bianca. And my man has to match that. We got to be equally yoked. And if I see people that would maybe bring him down, or keep him at a like lower vibration, ultimately that's going to affect me. So I would like to kind of get an idea of that. And if I see it, I won't necessarily immediately cast judgment and be like, oh, because you fucking with Amil, like, nah, like he got to go. But then just to then have a better understanding, what's that relationship dynamic like? How long has he been in your life? Because sometimes we could be really loyal to friendships and relationships because we've known them way back when, and it's a little bit harder to sever those connections. But I have some context, I have understanding. And then I think before meeting family, those are like the questions that I would try to like drop in those months leading up to being official, to understand what your family dynamic is. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Maybe your parent is sick. Maybe your parent, you may not have that much time with them. So it's important that you meet that parent, because who knows what they're going through. So I think, if again, just having some extra context around certain things, I can have a little bit of understanding how to navigate some of those dynamics.
I need to take y'all advice. I need to actually start bringing people I'm dating around my friends. I kind of have kept, if I'm talking to somebody, I've kind of like tried to bring them into a world separate from work, right? And I'll be honest, all my friends are people I work with. Like we're all entrepreneurs, got our own businesses. Like I don't really have too many friends that I don't work with or do something with. So if I'm dating somebody, I'm actually looking for that person to be a relief from work. Like I don't want to talk about work when I'm with this person. So within that, I'm kind of like keeping that person to myself. Like when sometimes they like, hey, let's go down to your dispensary. Let's go down to Sycamore Oak. Let's go and drink or do something with your friends and everything. And I'm like, man, I don't feel like being around, somebody, because it starts work conversations when honestly, I'm just trying to relax. Like I'm looking for a relationship to bring me peace. Like working don't bring me peace. It just, pay some bills. You know what I'm saying? But I think now, after I might finish, like if I'm dating a girl and it doesn't work, and then I talk to my friends and they be like, see, I told you, they probably didn't know whoop about you, and they don't know you like time to yourself. They don't know you like to, your little quiet moments ain't nothing that they need to be offended by. You just doing a lot of thinking. You know what I'm saying? And I think now moving forward, the first day I meet somebody, I'm taking it to my friends. Like, and I'm getting honest opinions, honest answers, because that's where I've failed that. And then my friends are looking at me after like, told you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually gonna take y'all advice here.
I think it can be I believe in doing that, but I do on the flip side, having been a friend to like girlfriends in the past who have been, they'll bring their guy around and we don't have very pleasant things to say about the brother. You know what I mean? So now she don't want to bring him around anymore because you don't like him anyway. And that causes like friction in our friendship because, and when it crashes and burns, it's kind of like, I mean, sis, we was trying to tell you. But I feel like it could go both ways. It's necessary, but I feel like the person who's bringing their partner around or the person they're dating around has to really be receptive. Like you got to really trust the people that you're going around. You got to trust their opinions, first of all. If you're going to, they're going to offer it up, but that can be tricky. It can be a slippery slope.
Yeah, it definitely could be a slippery slope. It could be over the first time y'all meeting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you might see, then that person might see somebody and then you're going to hit, man, shorty used to whoop, whoop, whoop. And then you're going to find out some other information. It's definitely like bringing them around your peoples that's equivalent to family too. If they really if your friends are really like your family, I think that's all in the same box. Like, I'm afraid to bring you around my mother. For real. Really? my sister terrible, Slim. Like she won't smile and she do that on purpose. And I'm looking at her like, what are you doing, shorty? Like, you ain't gotta do all that. So I don't even want to bring it. And then the girl, she might, yeah, when you gonna bring it, man? Let's just go and do us real quick. Like, I don't know. I gotta be a little bit more, especially when you come from a big family and you got a lot of friends. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I might, I have to be careful, son.
To Tasha's point, I had a friend who brought their girlfriend. It was a lesbian relationship. She brought her girlfriend around, and I did not have good feelings about this girl. She just seemed, and it was like the first lesbian relationship. And lesbians are interesting. No shade to lesbians. I'm trying to be very careful with this, but there could be like jealousy. It could be like, oh, like, so this is your girlfriend. This is your best friend. Are you sure this is just your best friend? Or did you really love her? Because, like we're girls, we do so many things together. And it's like, no, that's just my homegirl. I don't love her like that. I just love her as my sister. Not like, I'm not trying to do what y'all doing. And she ended up staying with this friend. But like the girl, she ended up staying with the girlfriend. And the girlfriend didn't like me. And once they got to being in a committed relationship, I stopped getting invited to all of like the family events. And I would tell my friend like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to say it's jealousy. I couldn't really put my finger on it. But like, all of a sudden I'm not being invited to the family cookouts. And we were doing this since high school. And my friend would say, oh, well, like my girl set this up. Like she invited everybody. And I'm like, okay, but I'm still like, she invited all of my friends, So it is it was very challenging. Ultimately, my friend stopped being my friend because they got married and the wife just was like, I don't like Bianca. And like, it finally was known. I'm like, yeah, I've been ringing this bell for a long time. Like, I just don't know what I did or didn't do. So that was like a sad thing to happen, to lose the friendship. And all I just said was really like, I don't know that this person likes me. I wasn't even going in saying all the things that I felt because ultimately I could feel whatever. And because I've been in a place where I was in a bad relationship and all my friends were like, girl, leave him. But I didn't. I'm like, I'm not leaving him. I love him. So I learned from my own actions. I don't say that unless someone's beating your ass or really taking advantage of you, then I'm going to step in like, this is abuse. But otherwise it's like, well, y'all doing you, I'm gonna step out. But that was really hard to deal with, of like losing my friend because their partner didn't like me.
How long were y'all friends for?
We were friends from 2003, and she officially stopped talking to me like 2022. So it was almost 20
20
years.
years.
Dang, that's a COVID death. The friendship.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you lost your friend. That's
Yeah, and my friend's father passed away, and I called and reached out. She never picked up the phone for me or anything. And I know, and I still talk to her mom and her family members. So I reached out to them and was like, "I'm so sorry. You know, I loved him. He was like a dad to me. I sent some money for the funeral arrangements, and they were all like, Bianca, I'm like, thank you so much, but like, they were so sorry that I'm like so pushed out.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. It's okay.
Wow. That's tough. That beat anything I was gonna say, man. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You know what I say, Bianca? Shit happens, yo.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Shit
life.
happens.
It's life.
Yeah.
I lost a friend because I found out she believed in chemtrails. But
What's that?
that was
Okay.
see something that black people should not know about.
Chemtrails?
Like from the planes or like
Oh, those
So
lines are behind the planes.
right, they call those chemtrails because they think the planes are intentionally dropping like toxins and poisons and vaccines on people into the atmosphere so that we can all get sick. And that way we have to be dependent upon the drugs that are made by the pharmaceutical industry because they're the ones that's paying for the planes to go up there, even though it's people doing it. And so then when we get that and we got to depend on that, and that's how people make their money. See, it's all a rig, and the doctors is in on it because they just want to keep you sick. You got to cope because all they want is money. And there's nothing I'm saying
And
makes
then
any
they
sense.
start talking about Dr. Sebi, and that's a
Oh.
whole nother
Listen, if you run into it, oh man,
that's a
no.
whole nother clan.
I know he got a whole like following in DC too. It's got to be crazy.
Oh
out
yeah,
there, man.
a lot of the stuff I'm like, damn, that shit sound real true. But in some of it, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Man, I would say this. I would say this before we move on real quick. It's like losing friendships also. I mean, I'll say getting back to the topic of bringing your friends around. I feel like bringing someone around your friends is part of the vetting process, though. I want to see how you react in my world, right? Like it's one thing when me and the old girl together, like when it's one-on-one, whatever you call it. But how you gonna react when I bring you around my homeboys? Okay, and we go down, I don't know, we in Raleigh or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and my homeboy's apartment or his house or whatever, and we got game night and we playing like around the people that I went to college with. How can you talk, or you gonna be sitting there cuddled up, being quiet and all? Like, how do you socialize? So like that's part of the vetting process. If she's curled up and all quiet and stuff, and you're like,
Tasha, you know that game night can make or break something.
Okay.
Quick. Okay. It can make or break. Like me and Tasha met, I don't know how many years ago, right? And we both do the relationship love sector. And Tasha like the games that we played with some people, it break married couples up. Like I've known people. My cousin, he told me he went to Bahamas or one of the what's the trips that people take when they spend a certain like on a marriage wedding destination something.
Yeah, destination where
yeah, he said they went down there for a couple got married. They played a relationship game on the beach. Like after the next morning, they were contemplating divorce. Right?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
you guys don't be knowing each other.
People don't be knowing, man. That game nights are treacherous.
Okay.
Like I'd rather do the laser tag and everything before I pull out some cards on somebody.
And side note, let me take this moment to give Amil his flowers, because if it was not for Amil, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So me and Amil he gave my first little peek into this world, and now I'm like addicted and I can't stop.
Yeah, she kept it going.
And it's so funny, he talked about the cards. He got all the games, like Real Talk, Cub, Trap Taboo. He got all the games.
Yeah,
so
I got another joint coming out too.
Amil got all the games. So
it's called Trap Taboo. There's a trap.
I'm like, oh
yeah, I did a trap version of Taboo, and it did fucking amazing. I even damn near got sued by
Taboo
Hirsch. Yeah, the Hirsch family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's don't even sound like a last name I want to be facing in court. That I don't say they're gonna try to get me. Like,
oh no, they good people now. Good
Wonderful
people
people.
now.
Wonderful
Yeah,
people.
good, wonderful
Absolutely.
people. I can't complain.
Nice.
But nah, no, that's wild to you up, man. Like I think that yeah, you definitely want to see, and vice versa though. It's not just me bringing you around my friends. Bring me around yours. I want to interact. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna show you. Like I like people I ain't never met before. For me, it's an opportunity to meet folks and almost like have an audience and get the socialize and the stuff going on there. So like bring me around there. Let me see how crazy your friends are. Like I said, because the second somebody tell me like, yeah, yo, I cure. Yo, listen, you can cure hepatitis with some seed oils. Like you can with you can cure yeah, I ain't got diabetes no more. Like I got stage 4 cancer. Look, I've been eating almonds, walnuts, and drinking my Sebi juice. Like I know you're probably not somebody I want to be like. This is not a circle of people I want to be around. Vaccines, you know that mRNA changed your DNA.
Oh my
All
God.
right, time out. Time out. We about to have a whole molecular biology all right. Yeah. But no, so yeah, I do think it's important. So to bring forward. In my opinion, I think that's part of the vetting process. I think by the time they get to family, they're already well vetted most of the time. So yeah.
All right. So the last question of the segment we have. So what fears come up when thinking about committing to one person? Or do y'all have any fears about being committed to one person?
What if I fall off? Like
Can't
I be
maintain.
I be thinking about that. Like I don't want to fall off. Like I want to make sure that's like added pressure. I'm like I want to make sure that I remain in some ways that person that they are attracted to. Um,
Mhm.
I don't want to let myself go, so to speak. Um, what other fears do I have? There's another fear that I have. Is like irrational. Like, what if they just one day decide? You know what's crazy? I'm gonna share something deep with y'all. Man. I ain't like I don't even talk like this, but like I do have a fear for real, for real. It's ain't even a joke. Where I'm like, what happens when they find out I'm not as amazing as they think I am, right? And I'm not saying that I'm not amazing. I'm saying it this way, right? Because I feel like I have a lot to offer and all that kind of thing.
Like imposter syndrome?
In a way, yeah. Because like when somebody, yeah. So like when somebody, yeah, when somebody's like, "Oh, I like being around you and all that," I'm like, me? Like I be shocked, like me? You want me? Like for real? Like, and they make you feel like you all this stuff, and I'll take it. At first, it's great when it's brand new. It's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing, baby. You know what I'm saying? I work on it, da, da, da. But then after a while, they still like interested. It's like, wow, you really like me for real? That's crazy. Like, I know that sounds crazy to say out loud, but it is like a thought that I have sometimes, and maybe that's because of as a result of my own dating experiences and all of that. Like I said, by month 3, you know what I'm saying, we done crashed. So I don't know. I think that those are some of the fears. Now, you didn't say they had to be rational fears, Tasha. So those may be some
Your fears are your
irrational
fears,
fears.
you know?
So like, but that little bit. Sometimes I think about it.
I mean, I think that's real, but I think that kind of factors into like the newness. Everybody's wonderful and great in those first few months. Like everything's perfect. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then people start getting real and those layers start shedding, and you get to see people for who they really are. Now, what's amazing and wonderful is if that person actually shows up as themselves day one and they're still that same person month 3, month 6, month 12, that's amazing, because I feel like a lot of people just it's so hard for them to just show up day one as themselves.
Mhm.
Because if you show up as yourself, there's nothing to maintain. You're being yourself. If
Mhm.
you're maintaining something, that means you're funny. It's you're acting. You're doing something that doesn't come natural to you. And I think that's my biggest hurdle with dating. Biggest hurdle. Because I feel like I can never get all these extra layers. In New York, I feel like these dudes got like 5 extra layers of foolishness. Like it's just so much to peel back until you see someone for who they truly are. And
Mhm.
it's a shame and it's sad. It's sad. I don't get it.
How long you
Because
been single, Tasha?
with you. Hmm?
How long you been single?
Oh boy. That's what I was telling Bianca. She was like, "Oh, well, it's been a little bit." I was like, "Girl, yeah, whew, it's been a little while." It's been about since the pandemic. Let's see. What that was the end of that was end of 2000. No, 2020.
I was about to say.
2000. I'm like, damn, girl, 25 years.
I don't know what they got the pandemic too. I don't know what it is about that.
25 years single.
2020. Yeah.
Might as well be locked up.
So, it's gonna be a minute.
That's crazy. Well, look,
Yeah.
I've been single since 2014, so I can't even, you know what I'm saying? I can't say too much.
That's a long time, Drew. 2014.
Broke
You've been
up.
single, but you've been in situationships.
Oh yeah, situationship king. I'm the
Oh,
Sultan
okay.
of situationships. You understand me?
Okay.
Look, we be in the like.
Okay,
listen,
Jafar.
listen. The 2014 in the 2014 that ended. 2015 moved to LA. Had to get myself established. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. 2015. Okay, finally started getting established. 2016, like really getting my groove or whatever. And then you would think that okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just look for a situationship, but like, not situation, actual relationship. But I was like, hold up, I'm making more money than I did in my life. You know what I'm saying? I missed out on some fun in my 20s because I spent that time broke working a dead end job. And now I got a little money in my pocket. I'm having some good time. The weather's nice. Women gorgeous out here in LA. But I'm gonna have a little fun first. So 2016, 2017, 2018. I was like, all right, cool. 2019. I was just having a good time, chilling. Situationships. And then I remember in 2019, I was like, all right, we got to get life together, man. I said, look, I'm gonna do one more. My last hoorah is gonna be the summer of 2020, and then we getting serious. And sure enough, SARS-CoV-2 came out of nowhere. Boom! Shut everything down. So then during the pandemic, I'm sitting there, we locked down. I'm like, all right, cool. I said, we're gonna sit back, maybe 2021, I'll wait. And then I'm like, well, hold up. I'm on this new app called Clubhouse. I'm about to use this to get dates in LA. And then I was doing that too. I ain't gonna hold you. It was
I'm
working.
sure a lot of people were.
It was work. It works. So I've been going out with some quality women just because of Clubhouse. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? So like that, and then yeah, so it's just been a kind of a battle of I think realistically I probably should have settled down 2018, but the weather be nice all the time. Yo,
Oh,
Emil, you gotta go out to LA, bro. Like it don't be cold. The palm
I've been to
trees
LA
outside.
once, and I went to LA once, bro, and I couldn't do it. I was out there for a week during, I don't know if it was some all-star game out there.
Mhm.
And it just everything just felt perception based in LA. Like everything was perception out there. And I couldn't do it. And I just really love an East Coast woman. So I couldn't like I tell you, not to change subject, like my first crush ever in life was Mary J. Blige with the black lipstick. Like the slow bomb, like Mary J. Blige from the projects. Like that's what I liked. So LA couldn't do nothing for me.
I got you. Yeah, you had to go to South LA for that. I ain't gonna hold you down there, like you're over to like Crenshaw, and like you gotta be down there. But no, you can find a whole lot of all of it you want. I ain't gonna hold you, man. They down there. I say this, but remember though, it wasn't just like the situationships that was the thing, right? It was the single. There was like there's other factors involved, like okay, the weather is nice. Oh, here's that. My bad. So you go into LA. I think LA probably might have messed me up too. Had I been somewhere else, I probably would have got settled down in a relationship because I moved out to LA, and like you said, there's issues out there with black men not liking black women. Meaning I'm in the city now with all these fine black women, and they like black men, and I like them back. And that's not the norm. So like I had to pick a list. So it's kind of hard to kind of just settle down. I was like, look at all these options. You know what I'm saying? You go to Kiss and Grind out there. I don't know if you know about that party out there, but it was good. That was a dope like a venue or whatever parties and stuff. They be meeting them, and they professional women, and they got either if they're not in the industry like acting or singing, they got like other cool jobs and stuff you be talking to, and they'll talk to you. Listen, all you need is an APT apartment, a JOB, a CAR, and look like you keep yourself groomed. These women will listen to what you got to say. I'm trying to tell you, they will give you like at least the opportunity to explain yourself and introduce yourself and go out. I'm like, how am I turn this down? So like I had to mature a little bit, and and then COVID hit right before I was about to make my ultimate maturity move, and so here I am still single.
And then you came back to the East Coast, and ain't nothing going on around yonder. Woo!
Well, I don't know that yet. I got to get my groove here. When I hit my groove in the East Coast, like I don't know, I might be able to make something shake. But my bad,
Yeah.
Bianca. I've been talking. Go ahead, girl. I know you want.
Oh, I wasn't. Well, one, I wanted to say to Amil, coming out here for like a all-star weekend or a Grammy week, like, yes, it is perception based, but that's like on 1,000. It's gonna be perception based 100% if you come any other time. But it's just like people are really trying to. It's business, so maybe come visit again, give it another try if you like. It really is beautiful here. I don't know what
It's
your
that flight, Bianca. I ain't
extracurricular
gonna.
activities are. Yeah, it is a
It's,
long flight, but I like to fly first class, so it doesn't really bother me that much.
oh yeah, I need to
So
start. I
That
need to.
flex, boy. You gotta
Hey,
that's what I
listen.
mean.
flex.
That's you getting to know me over the year, and then you see the type of things I like to do for myself. You see how easy that was to just slide out.
I
Um,
upgrade. I upgrade first class. I ain't gonna hold you.
and that's easy because I traveled back to the East Coast, so you could get to know that really soon. But the question was, what's a fear that you have? I would say my fear is in terms of being committed to one person is more so of like, how am I going to be when it's over? And that's not to say our relationship will end, but like death, like somebody's going to pass away before one of us. And
Damn.
no, I mean it's true.
You
Your
fast forward
grandparents
to the end of the movie.
that's no, that's the part. I'm just
Roll
thinking about it
credits.
like your grandparents had a 7-year relationship, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's no end for them, but someone is going to pass away before the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
That's just what the fact is, right? So I think it's really just that for me. Like, how am I going to be when this is done? And if it is done in the relationship, because before I thought that we had one soulmate, but I'm open to the idea that we have different. And that's just, I mean, or multiple, right? And I think depending on where you are and how you meet or uh your time in your life, you could stick with that person or it ends and you have another option out there that it can actually work with. It all is really like up to like you, that person, and God. But let's say if that happens, I thought I was gonna be with someone forever. I thought he was my soulmate and we wanted different things and I had to move on. And it took me a long time to do that. But in doing that, and I actually we ended our relationship in 2019 before I moved out here. I've been here for almost 6 years. And I would say, like, all of this alone time that I've had really helped me to develop my self esteem and really be like, oh, like, I'm actually really good without anybody. And it really would be an added bonus to have someone in my life. And if something was to happen to them, I will still be okay. I know that I will be devastated. I'm not saying it wouldn't take me a long time to move past the grief of the relationship, but like that's just me. Like I don't want to be completely lost in someone or in anything that I don't know how to deal when something is over.
That's mature, boy.
I got a question to come from that though. Can I ask something, Tasha?
Absolutely.
Like with you all saying that, do you ever feel like because you've been by yourself for a while, like are you seriously looking for something, or do you just are you just looking for somebody to kind of like kick it with and grow with, right? But not necessarily have that official title where you're tied to that one person. Like after you've been alone for so long, or you just kind of used to being to yourself, like are you looking to get back in something serious?
Yeah, I am definitely looking to get back into something serious. And I'm excited about it because I know who I am. I have much more confidence. I'm really my best self now. Like now I'm really ready to give it a try. Like, okay, I'm about to blow your world. Like you have no idea what's coming for you. So that's really exciting to me. I do want to have a home. I do want to have children, and I don't want to not be married to the person that I have a child with. So those are like goals of mine. I don't want marriage just for children, but that is something that I would like to have. But I also have to be like, if I decide to stay here or whatever, like just be accepting of the timing that it may take to get to that person. Because like I said, I'm 35. I didn't think like, damn, I was gonna move to LA and not go out on no dates and be 35 and like, damn, so that perception of time and where I think I'm supposed to be, I think is maybe a challenge. But I definitely, like I said, like I'm about to blow somebody's mind. They have no idea. Like, I'm really excited.
I feel like I'm in the opposite space from you. Like, so I'm just a 2 inch older. I'm 39. And at this point, I worked so hard to create this piece that I have for myself. And I know I can rely on myself to provide it for myself. And dating up here has not been peaceful. It's been a disruption of that peace. So listen, I was watching that Tracy Ellis Ross podcast with Michelle Obama, and I was like, damn, you're right. That's what I've been doing without putting a title on it, like choicefully single, like not putting any effort into dating for real, because it's just like, what? Like it's a constant disappointment and it stresses me out. But when I'm not dating, like right now, I'm in a phase where I'm not dating, I feel good.
You got your energy, like you can preserve it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
complete. I ain't got to worry about no foolishness. Got my little friend when it's time, and we good. That's it.
Oh,
Like,
you see how she threw that in.
You got a maintenance man?
listen, I ain't no fool now.
Hey, Drew, you know when Tasha gonna let the world know, because when she go on her trips out of the country and everything, it's gonna be that one little hand in the corner with a rope. That's when we know Tasha done found her somebody.
With the
Or she
wristwatch.
somebody serious.
With the hand with the wristwatch and the hairy knuckles. Like, it's a dude.
God.
It's a dude over there. That'd be the worst. I had to unfollow one girl on Instagram because of that. She had the audacity to post a picture of some brother's hand with his hairy knuckles and wrist with a watch on. I said, "Oh, she out with a dude." Now, granted, me and her have never spoken. Like, I just like her pics.
Oh my
the
God.
point is, but for her to get into a relationship before she responded to my DMs, like that's just that's irresponsible. No, I'm playing. No, you know what else is a fear? I think a fear that I have sometimes is yo, am I enough? Like, can I do enough? Um, like when someone puts their faith in you and their confidence in you, that can be very humbling, man. Like, and that's in any mode of life. I think even sports, like you ask, like you even like think about it, like if you're a quarterback for a team, right? It could be Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, whatever like that. When folks is looking at you and like, yo, you the guy, like you gotta have confidence in yourself, but that's also humbling to let you know, like, yo, I gotta make sure that, like, because now you gotta be honest with yourself about what you actually. I don't like using this phrase, but I'm gonna say it. What you bring to the table. That's like a toxic phrase. No, what you have the capacity to provide. Um, it's not just monetarily. That can be emotional provisions. It can be uh intellectual provisions, so on and so forth. But like one of the fears that I have sometimes, I'm like, yo, I'm happy with me. I'm happy with what I do, and I know I like to provide, and I have built a world where I have the ability to do that. But it's like, is that going to be enough for you always? You know what I'm saying? It's not just material things, right? It can be, like I said, the emotion, the area of safety. Like, I hope this is enough. And sometimes I may have that fear. I'm like, yo, maybe a little bit of uncertainty to say maybe it won't be. So yeah, that's it. But I'm very cautious. Like, you're gonna know when I'm for real, because I don't be jumping in relationships clearly. So like, you know what I'm saying? So like when it's time for me to like get up. But every time I fall in love, I end up looking
How
stupid.
you falling in love when you ain't in nobody relationship?
Because
sometimes you can fall in love.
That's
Like,
true.
yeah. You
I've
have
been
that
in
moment.
love and he was not my man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if every time I fall in love, but like when I fall for somebody, it's like a woman, like, yeah, I want to be with her. Like, stuff go wrong, man. And like, to like Amil, you said earlier, bro, like I like to show that affection, like through stuff like sending flowers. Yo, I love sending flowers. You know how easy it is to send a nice bouquet of long stem red roses. Like, all you need is about, and they only cost you about $100, 150. You know what I'm saying? You got a little, boom, send that. Oh my God, great. And but you don't want that to be misconstrued as, oh, he just love bombing so he can trap you. It's like, no, this is how I express how I
I just
feel. So I know
like
you
doing
like
nice stuff. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm
Well,
saying? So
this
like,
is okay. So this is what I think, and yeah, I think that can be problematic to some degree. Just because you have to
Doing
know
nice
your
stuff is
person's love
problematic.
language. No, I say that because like you have to know your person's love language. Because for me, I'm not like acts of what is it? Gift giving. That's probably like my last one. Like I don't know why, but I don't like people doing things for me like that. I don't know what it is.
That's how I feel
But
about me.
I don't like, especially if I tell you, oh, that was nice, or if I tell you in a serious conversation, like that's just not my thing, or that makes me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like maybe once we're in a relationship, that changes. But I often find when guys do that in the dating phase, it feels like you're trying to buy me. You're trying to buy my time. You're trying to buy my attention, and I don't like that.
I
So,
don't know about that, Tasha.
but it just has to be. It depends on the guy. Not every situation, but still, I'm just not. I don't. It's not my thing. So I say that to say, like, you maybe need to learn your person, and then also it could be creating like. You could be creating a little monster. You know what I mean? Because now you're spoiling somebody, and you might be treating them a way they've never been treated before, and you got to maintain that, and it's only going to get gradually worse. You know
You're
what I
right.
mean?
That's what I'm working on. I know that's what I'm working on.
And
I
so
might,
somebody plotting on you like, oh, he gonna buy me this, he gonna buy me that, because it's chicks out there that want to just take, and you coming out the gate hot with the gifts.
Yeah, my mama told
They
me
gonna
the
run
same
your
thing. I
pocket.
ain't gonna hold you.
My mama told me the same thing.
My mama told me,
she said, "Stop
you know
doing
what your
that
problem is?" My mama been married 40-something years. She's like, you know what your problem is? She's like, you be treating them way too nice in the beginning, getting all this nice stuff and
Too
stuff. Then
much
you ain't
too
got no way to
soon.
work up. You gotta get
Yeah,
start low and then go. I was like, dang, all right, mom.
too much too soon.
Nah, I don't know. I think women. I don't know. I feel like if there's some stuff that I don't do for you, you ain't gonna. It just ain't gonna hit the same. And I'm just a generally nice person. And then, Tasha, I also went to culinary school. Like, am I not supposed to cook for you either early on?
No,
You know what I'm
don't.
saying? Like,
I think it's like I don't want to say like excessive stuff, but like handbags or expensive gifts. Like I think things like acts of service, things like that. I'm a cook for you, or take you out to dinner, or we'll go on dates. I think that's dating. You're getting to know somebody, and that's how you get to know somebody essentially, and that's the nice way to do it, right? Over a good meal. But I think like buying gifts and being excessive with it, like I think that you start walking a fine line with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca, wait a minute. All right, wait a minute, real quick, Bianca. Me and you dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you call me and you say, where you at? Oh, I'm at Neiman's. Right? You not gonna ask for something? You not gonna expect me to get you something there if I'm getting myself something there?
I don't know. If you were at Tiffany's, yes, I love jewelry. So it really depends on where in Neiman's you are. If you're by the sunglasses, you don't have to. So that's my honest answer. But I think, like, to Tasha's point, I think it really depends. And you can kind of get a feel of the man. Like, you listen to a lot of rap and you think that you got to buy me a Birkin bag because this is what you see, like, being perceived as like, oh, I got it. And, straight out the gate, or like, here's this bag and $2,000 and like, just like for the optics of maybe what you've seen.
Yeah.
I think you could kind of tell by like the timing and the conversations that you have with the man and getting to know him. So if I'm getting to know Amil and he's like telling me all these things that he does for his child, you say you had a baby mother, for your child, for your sister, for your family members, then I'll naturally start to pick up like, oh, those are things that he likes to do. And
twins.
I'm gonna say, okay, you're twins, like I'll pick up on that, and then I'll be receptive of it, and I'll always say thank you. I really love when you do those things. I like these things. I feel appreciated. I won't stop. But if it is like a little too like flashy, like, oh, you saw Drake do this, like, I'm gonna take it, but like I'm not gonna date you.
She said, I'm gonna take it.
Like, thank you. But
I think that's an expectation when you're dating someone. Like, you kind of know the stores or places or things that your person likes. That might be an expectation or something. Oh, I want to do something cute for her. I'm in Neiman's. When that's your person, like we exclusive, like, but like we're just getting to know each other, like dating phase. I think that's interesting. You like spending money, because I don't know you like that. If you ain't my man,
no, I'm just naturally a gift giver. Like, I'm just a natural gift giver. Like, it's just in me. Like I just like to do for other people. Like, and that comes from, whether I'm dating somebody and I'm getting her something. To me, quite honestly, at the bar and I see a couple and I might buy them a drink. I'm just a natural person that likes to see other people happy. I help out the homeless and stuff like that. So I think it doesn't matter what hierarchy it's on. I just like to give. That's just me personally. So
I don't mind, like I said, flowers. I don't mind, sending you $30 for lunch. Shout out to Twitter for
Drew's making
that.
it clear he's not in Neiman.
Yeah, no, we now look, if I'm in even Ross, I might get you some. But no, I ain't gonna say Ross. But like I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like I may think of things like one of my fantasies, I would love to be able to buy a pair, like I would love to buy a pair of Jimmy Choos for a woman. I just ain't met a woman who I can actually do that for yet.
Oh, be
But
careful
like
buying people's shoes.
Walk
Yeah,
out
walk
the
out.
You'll walk out your life. Don't
See,
do it too soon. Somebody bought me
did,
sneakers and I don't talk to him no more. Thank you. They were my favorite. I said I really love up tempos. They're my favorite sneaker. And he was thoughtful. He was listening, and I walked out.
And them
that's
shoes.
wild.
It was
All
too
right, to your
soon. It
point.
was too soon. Sorry.
But I don't.
So
All right, to
should
your
you date
point, I don't.
somebody around holiday time then?
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Well, I
Look,
got that Thanksgiving birthday, so it's always gonna be a holiday with me. So I don't know.
That's
no, I'll be
real.
like that. I say it like this, so like, but as much as I enjoy little gifts, right? It ain't gotta be expensive. Like, even though I have that one expensive quote unquote fantasy, but like the little, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy, man, hey, you need anything? Well, can I do something for you? But I don't like receiving gifts like from women because like that just make it awkward. And I don't know what to say. I'll be like, oh, yeah,
Once you're
thank
in a
you. Like,
relationship or you're dating, is there a difference?
no, it doesn't. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, do I say thank? I mean, I know you say thank you, but I'm
What do I
like,
say? Thank you.
should I
Yeah.
be
I be giving
like
gifts.
ecstatic? I mean, wrong. Like, okay, when I was in a relationship last, my ex, she for Christmas, she got me some ties and some cufflinks. I still wear those ties to this day, even though me and her ain't been together.
It's,
Um, what you say?
it's Christmas. Like you're supposed to. That's what
I mean,
you
yeah,
don't expect to
sort
get from
of.
Christmas from
Wasn't
your
it
person.
Christmas? Let me make sure it was Christmas. It was around Christmas. Anyway, my point is. Now that but my point is like, oh, yeah, thank you, that was a good gift. But like gifts at random times, that's when I get. Matter of fact, I remember my birthday. There was this girl in LA, yo. She came. It's one of the best human beings I've ever met in life. Like just regardless, she was so awesome. Man. We had been dating, whatever, and off and on, and all that kind of stuff. For my birthday, she came to my apartment. She got me a little cake. I was turning 35. She got me a little cake. She bought me a like a alcohol cart type thing where you can like put your like one of the things you got,
Bar
Tasha.
cart.
Yeah, bar cart, but like it's like a circle. And I was like, you ain't had to do all that. I just wanted you to
That's.
just kick it with me. All right. And I was like, oh man. And now I
Oh,
was
look at
like,
your face while you telling the story. You sure you don't like getting gifts?
but here's the thing, like the gift, I appreciate her thinking of me like that, but I was like, you ain't gotta do all that because now I feel like now I owe you a relationship when I was really not trying
I
to
owe
do
you a
it.
relationship.
That's so sad.
True.
She actually deserved one. I ain't gonna hold like she really is one of the best human beings I've ever met. And if I'd been in a different kind of mindset, I would have married her. But my point is like I don't know, I never really understood like how I'm supposed to respond in that situation when it's a random gift. Holidays, but like you give me stuff for my birthday, I'd be like, you ain't have to do that. Just give me a present. Give me your presents. Don't give me a present. That's deep. Bars. But yeah.
Goodness. All right. Well, it's time for our next segment.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, y'all. We are going into our next segment, which is what we call red flag, deal breaker, or no big deal. Now, the rules of the game are very simple. I'm gonna throw some scenarios at you. And you're gonna respond. Let me know if it's a red flag, deal breaker, or no big deal. All right, so let's jump into it and get it. First one: you've been dating for 6 months, but they've never introduced you to any friends or family. Red flag, deal breaker, or no big deal.
Red
Red
flag.
flag.
No big deal.
I was ready to we established that earlier.
So
Yeah.
what at what point do you expect or would it be like a red flag if you don't meet friends and family? Like at how long, what stage?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I ain't. Listen, uh, I don't know. We can date for a whole year, like, and it
Never
could
be a
just be
single.
us. Like, I'm cool with that. I'm honestly cool with that. Like, and then eventually, yeah, I think maybe after a year, I'll say a year. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, because I'm not gonna introduce you to my kids until it might be like 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a different story. You know, I've talked to women before that wanted to kind of meet my children ASAP. Like, I ain't
Oh,
with that. Yeah, I'm not. I
crazy.
like yeah, I'm not ready for. I need to give you a little bit more time so I can understand how
Mhm,
you're gonna be around my children too.
mhm.
So
So
wait, I have a question. Are you open then to kind of like seeing them around children, even if it's not your children, to kind of test to see like, oh, I'm definitely not bringing her around my kids?
oh yeah, I can see that. Like, so one of the places that I do work for, we have it's called Sycamore Oak. We have a playground up there, right? So, and a lot of my other friends and cousins all have children, and their children will be up there at the playground. Like, I might want to see how they interact or something like that. Or even matter of fact, there was a point where if I was on Hinge, right? And you know how I could say whether this person had kids or they are open to kids. If that person says don't want kids, nah,
Yeah, that's
X, swipe. Like, I don't care how beautiful she might be or whatever. If you don't want nothing to do with children, I can't even like take you seriously, honestly.
yeah,
So, but to this question, I to give it a time, I say a year.
a year.
Got you. All right.
Yeah.
Next scenario. They still have acting dating app profiles, but claim they're not using them. Red flag, deal breaker, or no big deal.
Deal breaker.
I feel like
Deal
it's a
breaker.
deal breaker, but the
Deal
question
breaker.
just made me think like, do I still have I haven't opened up a dating app in years, but I don't think I ever deactivated it. I just was like,
Oh,
I don't need this. So maybe I should deactivate
I was
it.
gonna say
You
your profile
should.
just floating out there in the world. People
I
matching
guess
with you.
so. I
Bro,
guess.
that junk probably look crazy right now
I'm
when
like,
you
maybe
look.
Right.
I'm like, oh
You're like
snap.
500 likes when you get back up there.
Yeah, I should probably deactivate that. So, but see, in the case of that, right? What if it's like what I just said? But if
Nah,
it's
that's deal
active,
breaker.
like nah, he active, then not deal breaker. Go be with them. That's who you want to be with. Go be on your phone with them.
Nah, see, Bianca, you need to deactivate it because the moment you get upset at youngin, you gonna go right in that bath or you with your girls one night and you scrolling. Now you because
You got 500 likes.
the human
Mm.
mind is wild. You just gonna start being intrigued. You
I
just
don't
gonna want
like
to see what
dating
else is out
apps.
there.
I usually meet guys at work, like workplace areas or things that I like to do.
Mhm.
That's usually where most people come in. They're like, oh, that's why I said like I date ambitious men, workaholics, because we usually meet in that case. But like Hinge, I'm not on there. I could just post something on Instagram and get some love and be
I
All
know
fine.
that's
right.
right, girl.
I'm
Well, do you
so
see that?
glad to hear you say
Yeah.
that and be honest about it, because women be trying to act like I don't even be recognized. I'm like, all
Hey, all right. Yo,
right,
once that
Well, my
hinge
Instagram is
notification pop up,
roasting.
somebody liked you. Like,
No. But it's never anybody that you like you want to engage with. It's always something that clearly, sir, are you married?
all.
There's a lot of couples. The last time I was on there was a lot of couples like, hey, me and my girl are looking for a third, and it would be them, the relationship pictures. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
that's
like
everything.
Drew, and then Drew and his girlfriend looking for me to be the girlfriend. No, that's weird. That's why I don't open up the
Oh
maps.
wow. Oh
Now,
wow.
do you have any pineapples on your on your profile? Because that's the signal to a certain community that you going. So just think about that for a second.
You know,
I
Mm-mm.
learned that.
every time you say that, like you said that in the last one talking about like swingers or whatever, and I got
Yeah.
a pineapple on my bar card, and I was like, I should take that down because I don't want
Mhm.
nobody to get any be
You are
Yo,
confused.
I don't know
irritating.
what that means. What that mean?
So
And
if you
like an upside down pineapple means it's like a indication of like a swinger,
yeah,
like you're.
that means you going, so you down for it. So like yeah.
Okay.
I was like, maybe I should put that in storage. Nobody thinking none
Yeah.
of those things.
All right. Check it out. So they avoid deep conversations about feelings or commitment even after several months. Red flag, deal breaker, or no big deal.
Deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
Dang, friend, we gonna break. Yeah, no deep conversations. Everything surface level after several months. Amil, what you talking about, man? What you think?
Even after how many months? You got it. Several. Several is two.
Man, several is a couple.
Several.
Two is a couple.
A couple is two.
A couple is two.
Several is
Several.
two.
is too.
We
But
talking
even
about
Emil,
5, 7.
even to your point, you were talking about how that couple played that card game after they got married. That just speaks to people don't know each other because they're keeping it so surface. You're not having the hard conversations, and life is going to take an event, life slapping you in the face one day and forcing y'all to have that conversation, as opposed to having it when you're both level headed in a good space, and you can like understand or come to an understanding how you'll handle this if you cross that, when that time comes, if that time comes, as opposed to now we in it, what do we do?
Yeah. I think just based off of like sometimes, because dating is experiences, right? Like everything is a different experience. So I think off of my personal experiences, I've kind of like tried to like slow it down a little bit, like not try to just give it some time before I'm starting to be open about what happened to me growing up, and things that I go through with co-parenting and my children and my work, like because I feel like sometimes things come back and some it's used as ammo against you sometimes in arguments. So because that has happened in the past to me. So I think I've kind of like moved a little bit more cautious as I've gotten older. You know what I'm saying? But I know that can be toxic of me, right? Like, so I know I need to fix that because I don't want somebody to look at that as you asking me, is that a red flag or deal breaker? Somebody could be looking at me like, nah, Emil is a red flag. You know what I'm saying? So, but all in all, it's just like things that you've gone through, you kind of just like, let me figure out how I'm gonna approach this. So,
all right. And our last scenario, they never initiate conversations about the future. You're always the one bringing it up. Red flag, deal breaker, or no big deal?
Deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
I believe that the man should lead.
Yeah.
And
here we go.
No, I'm not in all ways. Not in all ways, right? I'm not.
You want to submit? I'm
not gonna be.
I'm joking. I just want to see what you
In
say.
certain cases, yes, sure.
I'm just playing.
But if you're not showing me the direction of where you're headed than where we would be headed, like I've been saying, actions are the proof. So no. Then to me, it feels like I'm chasing and not like flowing. And once I get into chase, once you're like I always want to function in confidence and not in desperation. So if I have to keep asking and asking, like, don't get me wrong, I'm going to ask. One of my jobs is a life coach. So I do ask questions, but for clarity. But after I've asked and I don't see the actions are matching, then it's like, all right, well, I got my answer. And like, thank you for your time.
Did you do? I heard that.
Yeah, I like. Go ahead, bro.
No, I think it's definitely a deal breaker. I mean, but I'm also trying to figure out how I can incorporate that person into my future. Like somebody that can kind of, meet me where I'm at, not just kind of like, of course, I want to be a provider and I'm looking for just a nurturer, but I also don't want a partner that's just lazy. Like they just kind of like just there. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to help, we build each other up and everything. So yeah, it's definitely a deal breaker with that question there. Yeah.
No, for real. I would
Drew.
say this.
Oh, sorry.
No, hit it. Go ahead.
I just wanted to quickly say when I just kept hearing you're going to submit. I'll submit if it's safe. Like safety is important. So if you're not providing a safe environment, no. But if there's safety, then yeah.
I just want to go on record and say I was trolling with the submit word. I just do that because every time these relationship conversations come out with Black people, the submit word always come up, and I just wanted to troll. I have my own, about submission and all of that. But we ain't gonna get into all that. That's maybe another topic. But I say this: the man's supposed to submit first. But anyway. If we really want to talk about, you're supposed to provide that to show yourself that I'm committed to providing this environment where you can feel safe. So I'm glad you said that. And then I get real biblical with that. So we ain't gonna do it right now. But yeah, those are our scenarios for, and this has been another section or segment of Red Flag, Deal Breaker, or no big deal. Back to you, Tosh.
All right, we have come to the part of this show where if you are watching on YouTube live and you want to submit a question, we're opening up the comments and we're opening it up to you guys on the panel. So anything that you guys want to ask, circle back around to, new topic, new question. Now is the time.
Hey, we got some folk watching live, man. Yeah. See, why they working on that real quick? I gotta that's a mid thing. I shouldn't have trolled like that because I don't want to talk about it. But you know, it's interesting. I've never understood, and I don't know if maybe y'all experiences has been different, but like being around these conversations prior to these voice sharing apps, prior to podcast culture, I don't remember conversations about submission in relationships. I'm going all the way back to like A&T. I don't remember me and my boys sitting around talking about like, yeah, yo, I'm trying to find somebody to submit. I don't remember that word being used. So I
I
don't
don't
know. That
remember
was
love
just my
languages.
love language. Oh yeah.
I don't remember a thing about love languages like in college, and I didn't. Who created that?
I think
Oh,
about
a
I feel
doctor.
like stuff like
It's a
that
whole
was
book. It's a whole thing.
yeah.
Oh,
But I
I
think a lot of things
gifted
were
that
expected then. Not
Yeah,
necessarily
in
talked about.
college. Yeah, when you're in college, we're not talking about that stuff. I'm trying to find where the good extracurricular activities are. I went to an HBCU. I went to Hampton, and I was not thinking about none of these things. But when I graduated and I went back home, and I'm like, oh, thinking I got like this timeline of, oh, I got to get this job, and now it's time to do this. There was a year where I think I have the book over here. Like I bought the book of the 5 love languages for my dad, for the guy I was dating, like for men in my life, because I was just really kind of being like, Dad, I keep telling you, like, you're not calling me. I need you to call me or whatever. And he was like, I don't want to talk on the phone. I'm making you dinner. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. So it was like clashes. I'm like, why are we clashing on these things? And so I just started to go into those things. But I think once I got out of college, like 22, 23, like early 20s is when I started to have these convos, because I thought like I need to be preparing to get married. Like this is what my next step should be.
Yeah, I think it's generational because, like, I think we're at like that millennial situation, where before us, nobody was having these conversations because it was understood. And take it a step further, the generation above that one, like, there was no conversation to be had. That's what was happening, Like, you didn't have a choice. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna raise these kids. That's it. And he's gonna go to work. So there was no conversation to be had. And I think as technology evolved, as we evolved, then all these conversations started to happen, especially when we're more connected. So we're trying to figure out how to connect better, how to have these conversations, how to bridge these gaps, because we see that they exist, and we got like to solve problems, like with all these games. I mean, we're talking, you know what I mean? Folks need to talk.
Yeah.
Why you want your husband? Why
I created it, just to hear other people talk and argue and listen to what they going through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, I love to learn about people. It's entertaining, right? But I can honestly say, like, after hearing you guys, I might need to do some homework. I'm 37 and I do not know my love languages. If somebody asks me, what do you need, Amil? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what the love languages are.
Well, Amil, that kind of speaks to like, so what are you discussing on your dates that you feel like are priority? Because if no one's bringing that to you or asking you those questions, like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what do you feel like?
We're just talking about, we're talking about love and relationships and past experience, but we're not giving it that title, that gift giving, and giving it that official title, whatever's in the book. We're just having general conversation. Yeah. If I go and ask my aunts and my uncles right now, what are your love languages? They not gonna know what the, excuse my language, what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? They just going, oh, I can tell you what I need, and I can tell you what she probably need. And shit, we just making it work. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes when you kind of put like a title on it, like it's like a grade. You know what I'm saying? Just because I got a a D in calculus don't mean I'm terrible at math. I still know how to count. It's just something about the title. Then I think people just throw it out there sometimes, like, what they want. It's kind of all right. Don't look at me wrong for saying this. I feel like love language is an excuse sometimes to stuff. Like it's like a cop out a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not actually explaining, like you're just giving us the title of the book because that's something that you saw on a shelf, but you don't know what's actually in it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
No, if I ask you what your love language is, and you say I don't know, I'd say, okay, it's either physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, giving gifts, and quality time. So I'll just ask you just 5 things. Which one do you like most? You like to give gifts. Do you like to receive gifts? No, maybe you like physical touch. Maybe you like free women to come sit on your lap and rub your head. That's how you feel comfortable. It's easy. To discuss. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not.
No,
I don't want to
no.
say
Listen,
like.
no, I literally just said to you, I said, this is giving me a chance to actually go and do some homework after this. Like, let me go and really sit down and figure out what my love languages are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's actually a test. You can like Google it and then you can fill out like a survey and they tell you.
Yeah.
Send me that test, Bianca.
So if it wasn't for Clubhouse, I never would have taken that test. Like, it's because of being in Clubhouse spaces and like in rooms and listening to people talk, and they all talking about their love language. One time, and this happened, and they were like, "Yeah, mine is that." Now, Drew, what's yours? I'm like, I don't know what. Like, what, you ain't know what? Hold up, girl. Family test. Family test. So I sat there. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I ain't got nothing else to do.
Oh, so
I
you
remember,
answer the questions and they tell you what your love languages are.
Right. So I sat
Okay.
there. I remember I was in my apartment downtown LA. I was literally in my apartment, like, okay, I'm gonna take this little test. Came back. It was physical touch and quality time. Those are my top two, like by a ridiculous margin, and everything else is just much lower. So I'm like, okay, and that makes sense. I like I like being invited into a space. Like, I like being in proximity with a woman because like her wanting me there makes me feel appreciated.
Mm.
I like to be touched, and I like to be touched non-sexually. You do what I'm saying? Like that reaffirming touch. Like when someone is doing that for you, like that, like it's like, I acknowledge you in my space. I want you in my space. I want you here. Now I feel wanted. I'm not feeling, I'm not like rich, nothing like that. So I'm not gonna say I'm feeling used. But like sometimes as a guy, you can kind of feel like maybe it's kind of transactional. But no, when people like just want you in space because they just want you to breathe the same air they breathing, that makes me feel special. I ain't gonna hold you. So like women don't know, they get a lot. Man, look, that says a lot. I went on a date not so long ago. This girl reached across my I opened the door for her, she gets in the car. And then I walk to the other side. I've never had this happen before in my life, and I've never needed it to happen in my life. She reaches over and opens my door.
I love that.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I never knew this. I didn't.
Is that a love language? What's that love language?
Yes, he's being from the South. I don't know.
That's gotta be.
I'm thinking that's a love language right there.
But like,
I mean, yeah.
All right, so here's the thing. Had I not been familiar with the gesture, I would have thought that was weird. I ain't gonna hold you. But because I'm aware of the conversation that goes along with an action like that, or with that particular action, I was flattered and flabbergasted. I was like, you did that? Like, I don't need you to do that. But I'm like, you did that? I was like, wow. I'm like, now I want to buy her flowers and because that messed my head up. I was like, yo, so like, we're gonna see you again. but nah,
Y'all can
so
start
like,
changing their voice.
but no, but I felt like that was equivalent to, first of all, the fact I asked you out and you said, yeah, that's that's quality time. Bam. Then for you to even reach over there, I felt like that was more of what physical. Even though she didn't touch me physical, she touched my car door physical, and I am one with my car. Well, I can say I am one, but that's my door. So like, like for real, tangentially, like you was touching me, like, but no. But my point is, it's stuff like that just made me feel appreciated. I like to feel appreciated. That's it. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
But I've never had a woman do that in my life ever.
Yeah, I'm interested now. I ain't gonna lie. I've been hearing about it the last few years, and I've kind of just avoided the whole love language thing.
Why?
It's just
We'll also put it in the chat, so we're gonna send it to you after we get off.
okay. All right, cool. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go,
I
right
took
there.
it.
All right.
I took the test, bro. Yeah. Just go ahead and knock that out, man.
All right, I got you.
That's how I found out what my birth chart was and all that stuff. I was in the room with them too, because I don't know about that stuff, man. It was like, yeah, I'm this rising with a
Oh yeah,
grand
I ain't
this
taking that far. I don't know none of that
and
stuff. I
me
just
neither.
know
I'm like, I know I'm a Virgo. That's it. Like, well, you
Aries.
don't know
That's
it?
all I know. Yeah.
They sent me a link.
Rising, no, I don't know none of that. Yeah,
Well,
that's
they didn't send me a link. It was like,
not my
okay,
league.
what's your birthday? What time were you born? Blah, blah, blah. And then I got my thing. I was like, oh, cool. I still don't know what it means, but now I got something I can share at dinner party. So I'm like, yeah, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Capricorn rising, baby. I don't know what it means, but hey,
Oh, that's a lot of earth energy.
see, and that earthy. That's what they say, earthy. You real earthy. I'm like, okay, I know
What
what
does
it means.
that
Earth,
mean?
Earth. You know that stuff too.
I do. I like to stargaze though. That's how I got into it. I like
Aw.
astronomy, the
Mhm.
planets, and then like there's certain like sometimes it'll be like, oh, the moon is in Leo constellation, and then from there I just learned more.
Yo, whatever that Mercury retrograde is, or whatever, that it be real.
Real.
Yeah.
Like people be bugging out here.
All of it is real. If the moon affects the ocean tides, and that's just the moon and the ocean, the earth is filled up with primarily of water, and our bodies are filled up primarily of water. What makes you think you're so unique that you're not affected by what's going on above us? So
Interesting. The last girl I dated in LA, she knew all about this stuff. She even did tarot readings, like for people like professionally, like all that kind of stuff. She knew all that. I never do tarot stuff, like I don't get into that, but like she was explaining the same stuff, like, yeah, this because I told her that she's okay, this means this and this means. Sometimes I'm like,
well, I want to say I have these interests in New Jersey because just because I live here, I'm not an LA girl. So for the people that's in the chat, this is the New Jersey, Elizabeth, New Jersey thought it started there with me.
okay. I thought you was getting real LA.
I used to see
It
shooting
got it.
stars at Hampton. I used to stargaze at Hampton. Like I love, it's just beautiful. Like just look up. Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know what. Sisters go to LA, man. They start talking about crystals and zodiac signs, and they got vibrations, man, like sound bowls. I'm like, yeah, you
Oh
LA now,
I
yeah.
boy.
love the sound bowl.
Like,
Mhm.
I'll
Nice.
be like, all right. Like I'm in Los Angeles now, baby. But yeah. Any questions? All right. Well, that looked like, unless y'all got anything else in your mind. Anybody? Well, listen. That looks like actually concludes another wonderful episode of Secrets of the Opposite Sex. I want to thank Bianca and Emil for coming through in the clutch too. Y'all don't understand, boy. That's like fourth quarter, boy. That's Hail Mary, Jaden Daniels. But no, definitely appreciate y'all showing up and providing some wonderful insight. Again, I am the co-host Drew Comments and of the terrifically resplendent Tasha Ray.
That does it for this episode. We're taking a mid-season break next week, but we'll be back with all new topics Wednesday 1st. In the meantime, don't forget to download, subscribe to the podcast, and follow us on YouTube for live updates. See you next time. Bye.